Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Sonic, the WWE 318, back again for another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your WWE Summerslam 2023 predictions. Yep, the biggest party event of the summer is finally here at last, as we are none other than 19 hours, 35 minutes, and 55 seconds away from the pay-per-view event itself at the time of recording this video, obviously enough. So, we are not going to wait, because we are kind of already short on time, trying to already record this video enough and trying to get this out to you guys when already enough, because obviously you heard the time limit. We are obviously inching shorter and shorter towards the biggest party event of the summer, well enough as it is. So we're not going to keep you much long. So we're going to get around to these predictions and just speed right through them, shall we? So with that said, skipping over this Battle Royale thing, because obviously I am not going to discuss or even count that, so blah. So moving over that from that on the card off of WWE.com, we have Ronda Rousey taking on Shayna Baszler in a MMA rules style matchup. My prediction for this match is simply enough going to be for the fact of, for the safe prediction, I'm going to say Shayna Baszler is my prediction for the win for this match, but I will not be surprised if Ronda Rousey does in fact win this match, because the overlooking, looming narrative going into this match, potentially heading out of this match, is the idea of obviously Ronda being on the roads out of WWE, as her venture into this company seems to be coming to its end. If you've obviously heard the rumor mills, obviously behind the scenes, obviously enough, it seems as Ronda is almost out of her last legs, and it's almost out of the company for sure to pursue her own things outside of the company, obviously at last. And in doing so, she is going to obviously try in doing so on her way out, in doing so, it's going to obviously try to push over Baszler as much as she can on her way out. So, who is to say that this is actually going to be it or not? That is kind of the biggest kind of lingering factor of it. This match could in fact be the end-all, be-all for this match, and just to call it a day and send Ronda on her merry way and give Baszler her roses, her honors and dues in this match against Rousey in this style, to send, once again, Rousey on her way. But who's to say that this match, in this feud for this matter, is going to actually continue on for a few more shows ahead before Ronda decides to hang it up and call it quits? So, yeah, that is what I'm going to say right here, right now. Once again, my prediction for all this, in my state of mind, is going to be for Baszler to win this match for a clean-cut prediction for this reason. But if this feud somewhat has any more bit of gas in it, and this actually is not it for this actually supposed ideal behind-the-scenes narrative that's being told and kind of being speculated to be actually happening legitimately, then Ronda Rousey could in fact win this match, and I would not be surprised if that is the case. But either way, Shayna Baszler for the way for my prediction. So, moving on from that, we have Logan Paul taking on Logan Paul is taking on himself, guys. No. Logan Paul is taking on Ricochet in a singles matchup, obviously enough. So, with that said, my prediction for this match is going to be simply enough for Ricochet to win this match, because heading into this match, obviously enough, this seems to be a typical heel versus face type matchup, as the promo skills between these two kind of on the lacking side of the spectrum heading into this match, to be honest. But let's be honest, guys. Once we actually see these guys go out there and actually perform right in front of us, actually in the ring, they very well potentially, and I say potentially, the high potentially, could potentially be the ones to actually steal the show and be kind of the highlight of the show, if not one of the highlights of the show overall. Because obviously we know the stakes that Ricochet can do on his own, and obviously with all the stuff we've already seen of his venture already in the company well enough, we've already seen how much Logan Paul could throw into the stretchum. So putting these two into the ring is definitely going to be a sure hellfire to see and actually to witness. And obviously enough, I am actually just kind of happy to obviously say that this actually match is legit, actually happening, actually has at least some build going into it. Because obviously enough, because either A, these two could essentially just be thrown into the freaking that battle royale and just call it a day. But we actually gave these two, and actually let alone fact Ricochet, the time and the effort to literally give these two actually their time and their dues to go out there and actually build this matchup actually between these two, obviously well enough on, weekly Raw programming, obviously enough. So obviously that is where credit is due. It's actually WWE actually giving Ricochet, let alone fact, his flowers and actually his time due, because obviously enough, him doing this could in fact spell that Ricochet could be potentially moving forward, actually getting some respect towards himself. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But let's just say that's just what the card's being dealt right here right now. If this is actually being said something, then we potentially are seeing a good horizon coming up on Ricochet's side. But let's not speak too early for that. That's the Zen. Obviously, no, let's focus on the Zen. Let's focus on this and see where he goes from here. Obviously enough, guys. But once again, guys, like I said, going into this match, once again, it's kind of simply a good versus evil kind of match, with Ricochet being the face and obviously Logan being the supposed heel in this match. So, with that said, I'm going to state that Ricochet is going to, in fact, pull out the win this match for my prediction, but I surprisingly would not be too surprised, or kind of slightly wouldn't mind seeing Logan Paul win this match if this match actually is fire, to say the least. Which, obviously enough, guys, knowing what these two bring to the caliber to this match, I'm pretty sure it is going to be a pretty fire match. If not, like I said, if not the highlight of the show, definitely one of the highlights of the show for sure. But with that said, we're just going to tune into SummerSlam and find out for sure what in fact actually happens in this match overall, guys. So with that said, moving out of that, we have the Intercontinental Champion Gunther taking on Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously enough. My prediction for this match is going to be for Gunther to retain his championship here in this match. Because to be honest, Drew McIntyre's return as of late has not really stuck in that much of a landing to myself personally. I hope I'm not the only one feeling that way, because it seems like it's like, oh, Drew's back, and like he's just hasn't really been around much. It kind of seems as if it's been more or less kind of Riddle and Gunther kind of go at it and just kind of saying that Drew McIntyre says, "Oh, I'm here now," and just like he's only appeared like maybe once or twice in this feud, and it's mostly been Gunther to carry the build for this match off of promos after pretty much beating down his other opponents, which God forsaken, might as well say, either has been, as far as I can be concerned, as of late, has been either Riddle himself or the likes of Chad Gable as of late on the last episode or two of Raw, handed to the show, obviously enough. So it seems as if Gunther himself has been the one to potentially be the one to manly carry this feud, to say the least, but that's just how I'm potentially seeing going into this. But, because God forbid, for sure, we know darn well this match should in fact, deliver such a good match, because obviously we've seen what they did at WrestleMania with these two, and with the inclusion of actually Sheamus with these two in the match. So obviously enough, it's time to actually see that these guys can actually deliver themselves a good match on their own merit. Because obviously enough, we know that these two can actually in fact go. Oh, that was random. These two in fact can actually in fact go. I was going to say during that kind of blunder of a kind of a choke, mid-sentence. These two can in fact go in the ring and actually show us a good time, obviously enough, facing off with one another. And obviously enough, we know that, that's just straight facts. So, but with this, well, in fact, I just feel as if they're going into this with the feud. I know, like I said before, this is going to be obviously a good match. Obviously, in execution, but going into it, the feud has kind of just been lackluster, in my opinion, honestly. Well, so that's one thing. Number two is obviously the fact that, obviously enough, we are surely shortly but surely, and going to be going upon the likes of Gunther actually beating the Intercontinental Championship's historic record as of late. So that could very well be another reason why Gunther can retain this match, to still keep that push going strong and legit beat and break that record coming up pretty soon, well enough, heading out of this match. But knowing Vince is kind of obviously, fastly, surely, more and more getting back into the helm of creative, more and more as of late. He very well could obviously be the one who's like, oh yeah, I see that. Gunther's coming around with that the historic title break record. You know what? Let's just break the tables right underneath him. Let him crumble. Let him suffer off of that fact. Be like, ooh, you see this historic raid? You almost beat it. You want to break it? Ha! Too bad. You're gonna lay it down and lose to Drew McIntyre. Haha, sucker. So. Yeah, I could see that actually happening, just despite not only Gunther but also Papa H's kind of creative mindset going into that, knowing that Gunther well enough deserves to actually beat that record well enough. In fact, obviously enough, but Vince can obviously be Vince, and that very well can in fact happen. So with that said, once again, with those two mindsets obviously well enough stated, actually put on this match. My prediction, once again, is going to be for Gunther to actually win this match. But, surprisingly enough, if Drew McIntyre somehow and does actually pull out the surprise, then I slightly wouldn't mind it. I would love seeing Drew McIntyre win the championship, obviously enough. But yes, it does kind of a down burner for the sake of Gunther going to lose out the way like this. Short off the mark of actually breaking his Intercontinental Championship record. Right enough, coming soon, well enough after the show. So we'll see enough, guys. Gunther, once again, this for our prediction, though, is obviously for Gunther, once again, to win this match. But said, Gunther to win this match. So moving on from that, we have the WWE Women's Championship Triple Threat match between Asuka, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what do I have to say for this match? Okay, guys. Let's just cut to the chase, and let's just get right down to it. Do we honestly think that Asuka's reign has just been that eventful? Because, in hindsight, I don't think it has, to be honest. Yes, it's been kind of highly speculated that everyone wants the Asuka and the Io Sky matchup. That has been, the highlight of everybody's minds. And it doesn't seem like we are if ever, going to get that match. And it just going off of running off that creative coattailed idea, it just doesn't seem as if, obviously, that's going to be something that's going to be in the cards. And obviously enough, it seems like real Asuka has been leading to pretty much little to no direction at all. In spite of that, and obviously enough, it kind of just been seen, because obviously hasn't it just been Asuka and Bianca Belair, obviously enough to actually been feuding all this time. Anyhow, and then we're just gonna say, hey, Charlotte's now back, and she's Charlotte goddamn Flair. She's obviously wanting her dues in this match, and so we're just gonna go ahead and freaking throw her into this match, because despite the fact of obviously having Bianca Belair having some tension between herself and Flair as well. So all that kind of builds together for it. Triple threat match. Hopefully, watching it itself, it's just going to actually be pretty good in execution, but going into it, just like, Who can, in fact, win this match, you might ask me, though? I am going to just state this right here, right now. I'm not quite really certain for sure who could actually win this match strongly for sure. But if I have to put some prediction actually out there and put my foot down on a prediction just to throw it out there for the sake of this prediction, video, I am just going to state the fact. I'm just going to leave it as obviously that I'm going to say that Bianca Belair hopefully could and would be the one to win this match, but obviously enough, it's Charlotte goddamn Flair, guys, and darn well she's gonna, she or just creative is well enough to is going to continually to obviously be behind this goddamn bandwagon of hers for whatever reason, because obviously we don't got any other goddamn woman to push, because, you know, God forbid we have a gosh darn strong women's division, am I right, guys? So, blah. And simply enough, it could be said that either Asuka can be the one to sadly take the fall and, you know, be the one to, you know, make Bianca Belair still be strong, or vice versa. Can, you know, Bianca can be the one to take the fall and make Asuka still look strong, and even in championship defeats. I don't know. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of here and there, guys. The feud step is kind of here and there, and the kind of clear cut, an actual clear cut winner is kind of here and there. So that's just that. And who's to say that we potentially because Io Sky, God forbid, Io Sky still has her briefcase still in tow, so maybe she can be kind of, I mean, going back from going back from the guys from the beginning. Could she be the one to could she kind of be in the looming in the lurking in the shadows, actually, you know, be having this moment to strike for herself, for this opportunity for herself? That's to be seen, though. But just to state right here right now, just to throw out a prediction to move on from this match, I'm going to simply state right here right now is once again going to be for Bianca Belair for my prediction to win this match. But I would not be too surprised if Asuka retains this match. But surely truly won't be surprised if Flair wins this match for her own perspective and political reasons, obviously enough. So instead, Bianca Belair for the win for this match. Moving on from that, we have Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. My prediction for this match is simply enough going to be for Rollins to retain this match, but I will tell you this right now. My mindset has kind of been flickering off and on towards this match, because as of late, we definitely see the Judgment Day had his dues of like, oh, tension between the Judgment Day. Oh yeah, those tensions have just been broken. We're all buddy now. And to now still kind of having some cracks in that tension, slightly starting to show once again. And very well potentially could still see the likes of Damian Priest obviously being one to actually cash in this match well enough, because obviously enough, the narrative has already been told, and this has kind of been why I've kind of backtracked on my actually prediction, actually hitting it to the show, but actually hitting to the show and actually in this video mindset, for that matter, is that my mindset obviously well enough is for the narrative they've actually said and actually addressed actually on screen, is how that Balor can in fact win this match and have freaking Damian Priest actually cash in on either Priest. Well, yeah, he's gonna cash it on himself though. Priest, will cash in on Balor or Rollins for that matter for his perspective reasons. But obviously, for the sake of the narrative of the pushing towards the Judgment Day narrative and how they're pushing towards that, obviously enough, we can see Balor actually retain, Balor can actually get a championship out of this match, and then with Damian Priest coming out and sweeping on in, actually taking the opportunity right off the bat, actually take the championship right then and there, off the bat like that. But like I said, since that narrative has already been pushed, actually been told on screen, that's kind of like I said, and the reasons why I've kind of reeled back my prediction to essentially say, yeah, yes, it very well could happen, and that is the problem at hand. If they did not outright come out and actually say that actually on air and let that be something to marinate in our minds personally as viewers, then maybe I would suggest going towards this prediction mindset. But obviously, since they themselves have pointed it out, I am gotta be the one to take a step back here and say while it could in fact happen, I don't think it's going to happen just because for the sake of that actually happening on screen, obviously enough. So my prediction here, once again, is going to be for Seth Rollins to win this match, but do not count Balor out. That's what I will say right here, right now, because this is going to be a clear, close-ass match to see well enough, because Rollins isn't going to have that dare, isn't going to get out of this match scot-free well enough, guys. So Rollins is definitely going to have to scratch and claw to retain his match out of this right here, obviously well enough. and we're just going to see what happens from there. Whether or not we still potentially will get the cash in, either on Rollins himself, or like I said, for that supposed narrative of Balor, winning the match, actually, to obviously shortly, briefly hold the championship, to obviously then lose to Priest. That will have to be seen then and there as we get towards, at the tail end of the match, obviously, for that shit. So, obviously, that's then. But for now, my prediction is going to simply enough be for Rollins to win this match for the second prediction. Instead, Balor could in fact win this match for their respective reasons, and or Priest can potentially walk out of this match, mind you, without even being in the Godjar match, could still actually walk out with the championship after the fact of this match, mind you. So, with that said, Balor/Priest could in fact walk out champion out of the night overall, but my prediction is going to stay true. As for Rollins to retain the championship here because of that, and just simply enough, just give him more time, actually more spotlight with the championship, because obviously he should kind of deserve more time with the championship, to be honest, for the caliber of talent he is and kind of the stuff he's been pulling and actually kind of holding on himself for the actual roster well enough for, him being him, obviously well. So, Rollins, either way, for the win. So, moving on from that, we get closer and closer to our main event as we have our, well, no, in fact, maybe you might as well say our second out of our, I guess, a supposed triple main event type caliber type, card as we close out, as we inching closer and closer to close out this card. We have none other than Cody Rhodes taking on Brock Lesnar, obviously enough. My prediction for this match is simply enough going to be for Cody Rhodes to win this match for the simple and clear-cut reason, obviously, just to end this feud in fashion, in his own way of actually him being strong. Because obviously enough, the first two matches, well, enough, heck, he kind of won. He won. Yes, he did in fact won this first match, even though it was kind of a cheap kind of fashion, to be honest. And two, Lesnar technically did in fact win that second match, so it's kind of definitely it. So kind of the narrative is being told we actually are kind of in a tiebreaker kind of thing to break this, end this feud on a tiebreaker kind of ending status for you. But even though Cody Rhodes he lost by a pass out, he didn't tap out, he didn't get pinned, he just passed out. So that still makes him look strong at the end of that match, but here is to hopefully him to actually win this match in a strong and clear-cut way of actually ending this feud off on a bang and actually, just out of its style. Because obviously enough, this feud definitely and drastically needs to come to an end. Because God forbid, this feud definitely has been dragged out for not too long. And, it just hasn't incredibly been that too good of a feud, to be honest. Because obviously, like I said, all this time, it's kind of been just like a lacking reason of why this feud's to happen to begin with, other than, Brock Lesnar's Brock Lesnar, he just wants to take Cody out because, essentially. Because obviously, we don't know why. Because obviously, literally, we don't know why. So, obviously enough, guys, once again, Cody hopefully and should hopefully end this feud off strong with hopefully a good, and I stress, clean way of winning this match. Mind you, do not go back on what they did back at Backlash and let him win by cheap and kind of cheeky fashion. Do not do that, because that is just kind of, like I said, even when I said that back in my Backlash review, I might have stressed the fact right here, that how that might have kind of insult the intelligence of the viewer. Just like, okay, that doesn't bring that much belief and credibility to Rhodes himself as a talent of him winning in that fashion. That kind of raises a kind of a cheeky eyebrow toward Rhodes. Like, why would you win like that? And why would we want to be behind this guy if he wins like that? So that's kind of that. So, like I said, hopefully Rollins. I keep saying Rollins. Let me just say Cody. So the freaking keep not slipping the tongue. Hopefully Cody does in fact win this match cleanly in a way to clearly and cleanly end this feud off in style. For that sake of one, but two, because of there clearly being a Cody Rhodes documentary either being produced or actually currently being in the works. And this well enough could be potentially be part of said documentary, so that well enough could actually add some creative and actually juicy fire to actually be an additive towards that documentary well enough. Say, oh yeah, Cody faced adversity towards Brock Lesnar. He won in this fashion the first round. Then he kind of he went to the distance and passed out the second time, only to see what happens here at SummerSlam to end his feud against freaking Lesnar, to end the feud once and for all. Huzzah! So yeah. So either way, Cody Rhodes is definitely the highlight to potentially win this match for all ways you look at it. So with said, Rhodes definitely for the win. So moving on from this to our main event. We have none other than the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns taking on Jey Uso in Trial Combat. Obviously up for our obviously main event here for SummerSlam 23rd. I was like 2013. Oh my God, 2023. Yes, we're gonna go back a decade, guys. Let's go back in the decade, guys. No. So, Trial Combat, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns. Who is my prediction to win this match? Obviously enough, guys. Obviously, guys, yes, it has been stated how in the moment it was kind of a moment of hype of how, oh my God, Roman Reigns was pinned at Money in the Bank. Holy shit, he was actually pinned. He actually is believable that he actually will lose. Yes, that was good in the hindsight, but then now, as the more and more we kind of speculate and kind of were removed for that moment, we're just like, why? And like, yeah, that was kind of a dumbass move, seeing as he is not only the top head of the champion of the company, and just let alone fact, the head guy of the actual freaking roster, let alone fact of the company, mind you, right now. Let alone fact how much strong of a character he is of him being, the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, mind you. So, a strong character like that deserved to actually been finally put to actually rest once and done. Finally enough. When the tides had turned and actually when the merit deserves to happen of him actually losing the championship. Not in some match that happened back at freaking Money in the Bank. Yes, that match was in fact spectacular, and the way it actually ended was once again in shock and actually hypeful. But yet again, that was pretty much the only reason, probably the reason why that match had to end that way. It's just for the pure shock factor in the moment of actually the fact of the fact that, oh my God, Roman got pinned, he is able to be defeated. That is pretty much the only reason why that essentially happened. But more likely a chance right now, that reasoning has just kind of been shat upon, and reasonably so. Because obviously enough, why would you want to do that why would you want to do that to Roman Reigns, knowing how he's not only head of the table, but your head top as champion? Why would you want to do that in that fashion? Why would you do that? So yeah. So knowing that and putting that bias aside though, and actually looking at this match we do have in fact right here, my honest prediction is going to be this, and I quote. Yes, it definitely could. In fact, the chance of the surprise and the shock factor of Jey Uso winning this match definitely is a possibility. Because not only the fact do we potentially could see none other than no one's actually saying this, surprisingly as far as I'm concerned. No one has said this, how potentially the fact of Jimmy being taken out by both Roman and Solo recently can actually be a reason of him coming back to actually help Jey win the match and up to overall take over Roman in this fashion right here. Well enough. So not only can Jey get the help by Jimmy to actually help him in that fashion, but potentially enough we see the swerve of Solo actually being the one to potentially help. If Jey's not gonna get help by Jimmy, maybe Solo can pull the swerve out of nowhere to actually help Jey win the match and actually overcome Roman in this fashion, and that way and pull the surprise of the century here at SummerSlam. Well enough, but that once again, like I said, the chance of that happening, which is like I said, just a chance. a chance of that happening. Because once again, guys, Roman Reigns, well enough, you gotta look clearly. Roman Reigns is literally Roman Reigns, and he's literally on the literal hype trial of the freaking run of a century, of a championship run of a lifetime. Because there's no way there is no way this is going to end like this, guys, and there's definitely no way it's going to end with the likes of Jay. Yes, and yes, would I be over the moon to see it happen? Sure, especially if it's told creatively, sure. But definitely enough, it's definitely been established that, or pretty much been assumed, that Roman at this point is the only time frame that we definitely, the next time we are strongly going to, in fact, see him actually fall is going to probably be at next year's WrestleMania 40. That is going to be pretty much the next pinpoint location of where he will pretty much exactly fall to. More likely a chance, probably Cody Rhodes. More likely than not. Be the one to, quote unquote, once again, end his story, so to speak, once again. So, there is that. So, yeah. Regardless if it's Cody or not, WrestleMania 40 is the pinpoint current location of where Roman is going to pretty much look more than likely take the actual fall then and there. So, until that time, a frame has come, we are probably more likely than not seeing Roman Reigns' freaking run of a lifetime continue strong than ever, as he's going to pretty much bulldoze it right over through Jay and overall overcome this match once and for all, and still continue his historic reign once and for all to keep going forward. Obviously, the announcer said, while I would love, and actually would be surprised if Jay, pleasantly surprised, mind you, if Jay somehow wins this match, whether it's cleanly or by some assistance, either by Jimmy or Solo, to pull the swerve of a lifetime to do so, I am definitely going to stake my foot, obviously being down, and still going all on the ride of Roman Reigns, to say the least. So we said, Roman Reigns for the win to close out this prediction with a bang. So with the said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for watching this prediction video of mine. I know it's funny enough, I talked a lot in this freaking prediction video, knowing the fact that I kind of wanted to actually kind of speed the process up, because obviously, you know, we're literally mere hours away from the show, well enough, guys. But once again, guys, I'm pretty sure I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, but if I did it, then blah. I definitely, obviously, this is coming off, because obviously we're heading into another Saturday show, so one, I'm coming off a work day, for starters, for one, and two, there's been a lot of hectic stuff in my life, personally, outside of work, that I've been doing outside the scenes, kind of doing on my own, that kind of has been taking more of a priority over this kind of thing, but I definitely want to find time to literally do this for you guys, and literally want to do this, so this is kind of the only time I can really be able to do it. So I do apologize for this late ass upload, but I hope you guys overall, though, enjoyed the predictions for what they were worth, as we're once again currently at the time of close out this video, 19 hours, 2 minutes, and 43 seconds away from the event itself of SummerSlam 2013. There we go again, 2013 again, 2023. Obviously enough, guys. SummerSlam 2023 is going to be here right before we know it, and overall, we are hoping to go into the show. I am positive, but yet again, I am not very hyped as many others could be, because a lot of people are saying that, oh yeah, this is going to be an excellent and swell-looking card, but for me, it looks just like an okay to a decent card, but who's to say that overall the card will actually be good in execution, then when we actually see it happen, all go down live from Detroit, obviously enough. So, we will see what happens when we go right into Ford Field, into the Motor City of Detroit, to see the biggest party event of the summer go down here for SummerSlam 2023, as we will see what happens then and then. So as we get closer to see what happens then, as I'm going to cover it all up next for my SummerSlam 2023 review. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I once again thank y'all for watching my prediction video. And I shall see you guys next time for my SummerSlam 2023 review. So with said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Sunday 318, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys!